We're in Secaucus, New Jersey today.
We are.
Right outside of the Vitamin Shop headquarters. And I'm so stoked to be here with Darin and Michael from Kaged Muscle. I've never been on camera in person with both of you. I've met both of you once.
We've Zoomed.
We've Zoomed.
We've FaceTimed.
We've talked a bunch, but getting in person is so cool. And especially after last year, I don't know about you guys, we don't do a lot of in-person stuff anymore, which has been unfortunate. So, welcome to New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back. You've been over here before. But it's a pretty exciting day. We're sitting down. You might notice the new Elite series from Kaged. This is going to be the first time it's really seen on video. There's been some leaks, but this is the first time it's out here and in front. And today we're going to be talking about both the rebrand that you guys are about to undergo, but also the history of Kaged, which is really cool. So before we got on the camera, we talked 2014 was when you guys opened up. You had your first sale 2015, the second day of January. And I have noticed a lot of parallels between your launch, right? All sorts of going against the industry and really changing things up. So, Mike, I want you to tell us a little bit, just to start the video, about when you started Kaged, like what your thought process was, what it sparked this, because you have a background in sports supplements. This didn't have to be the move you did. What made you want to start this?
So that was a pretty straightforward opportunity for us, right? We had seen, being at bodybuilding.com and knowing all of the brands and seeing all the manufacturing and, honestly working with Brian Rand, right? Just learning what is possible and, partnering with Chris as well, Chris Geffen. The three of us were just perfectly aligned on the opportunity because we all exercise, we all want to take products, right? And there was just nothing on the market that was, available in the quality, the purity, or just the formulations that we were looking for.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer for us to realize that all, basically, some of the legacy distribution that requires massive gross margins causes products that if you want to retail at $30, right, you can't be, you're like
right.
$3, $4, $5 in cost, and that's it. Right?
Yeah.
So if you that causes the whole market to not be as high quality and as effective as it should be, and
right.
that was a negative, right? So we saw an opportunity to operate a business that on a lower margin, right, using some more internet technology, social media, other types of brand awareness versus print ads and all the other expensive traditional things that people did, and just put all of the extra dollars into the product, right?
Cool.
And make products that we would love and take. So that was a no-brainer opportunity right in front of us.
It's pretty cool because you mentioned how these big box stores prevent a lot of companies from doing this, but we're sitting next to the headquarters for Vitamin Shop. You're still in bodybuilding.com. That's where you kind of grew initially. You're in GNC as well, Vitamin Shop. You were able to do it with great products, which is it's pretty inspiring these days. Because still, you go into a lot of big box stores. You still there are great brands over there. We can still give that out, but it's not the mainstream yet. It's still not normal, even though you guys are pushing those boundaries.
Right.
And we even talked before this, especially now in 2021, it's getting more expensive to do this high quality stuff, and you guys are still sticking to your guns on all of those commitments.
Yep.
So, you launch in 2015, you have this line of just stacked products. Your Pre-Kaged is still, I always say, it's one of the first fully disclosed, huge pre-workout scoops that really not only was a big scoop, but it had fermented amino acids, it had high quality stuff, and it was different. I could go down the line of all your products and how they stand out. How do you change things in 2021? How do you take that a step further?
The next year, it'll be the same as we've always done, right? If we can't bring innovation to a category, if we can't do something novel and different, we're not going to launch a product, right? We're never going to launch a Me Too product. So it can be healthier, it can be more effective, it can be cleaner. It can be done in a synergistic way with ingredient profiles, right?
Yeah.
But we just are looking to, our mission is we're not just pure sports nutrition, right? It's health and wellness as well.
Right.
And we want to help people achieve, our goal is really to help our customers live their best lives, right? And that's going to happen through, we think that exercise is like the key to a lot of different things. It's not just about, putting on muscle, right? And we are going towards a more than muscle angle, if you think about it. Right?
Or less than muscle in some ways. You remove the whole muscle, right?
Well, because we're more than muscle.
Yes,
right.
Of course.
And that's the concept. And so helping people achieve their best lives through exercise that brings up your energy levels, it makes your mobility, your energy, your focus. I mean, so many different benefits that come about from being in shape and feeling good, right? Your self-confidence goes up. There's so many benefits, and so we want to help people do that. Supplements are part of that solution, right? But training programs, information, that kind of stuff, that's what we're focused on. So as far as innovation goes, like we want to continue to provide solutions to our customers that help them in that mission and goal.
So just to be clear for everyone, if you haven't noticed yet, the shirts that you guys are wearing, even the shirt that I'm wearing from before, the label's Caged Muscle is now Caged. It's just like quite a simple change, but kind of a lot in both the branding. I like the A that you guys are using, the type. It's all pretty cool. And I think what you said about new products are always innovative for you guys has absolutely been true. Every single step that you guys have taken in the last 2 years, I can remember, outside of the initial launch, these new products, Clean Meal was different for everyone. Your multi, I don't know many mainstream sports nutrition brands that have whole food sources for micronutrients. Right. Your Omega, especially, I think that was the biggest one for me. Like just absolutely different in terms of fish oil. You really don't do anything new that isn't completely different. So now that you're replacing or evolving, I guess is the word we should really use for your pre-caged, what are you guys doing going forward that's going to take an already great pre-workout and improve it?
Why don't you do this one?
You want me to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, from a pre-workout standpoint, this is elite, right? And the team has been working on a kind of revamped, evolved pre-cage for, my days at bodybuilding.com, we were talking about it too. So at least 2 years, the team has been really working on what's the next evolution of pre-caged. What are the consumers saying to us that is missing, or where are they going in the market? And Elite is the answer to that with more pumps, more energy, and more focus, right? Cool. So there's a lot of products on the market right now, and like you said, we're near Vitamin Shop, that focus on a couple of these things, right? Like you'll have brands out there that are focusing on energy and focus, but probably lack the pump. They're focused on pump and energy, lack the focus. This is the epitome of it all. Not too many, if any, right now, from what I can understand, are using 10 grams of fermented L-citrulline.
It's rather a flex, really, that you guys are doing that.
Especially with the current supply chain issues.
Especially, yeah.
A flex of 10 grams of citrulline per scoop is there with this product. And, not to mention, we have creatine mono in here. We have creatine nitrates, along with alpha GPC. I think it's 7 patented ingredients within this formulation as well.
That's awesome.
9?
Yeah,
okay, sorry,
awesome.
my bad. 9, even better.
Properly dosed.
So it's honestly for us and for Caged, I'm very excited about this product just as a fanboy of the industry and a consumer of high-end pre's. I'm very excited for this product to get into the market.
I think there's something to be said. There's a lot of brands that change their pre-workout every 6 months, or they have a billion different versions of their pre-workout for different stores and stuff. And there's nothing against that, but for you guys to have one pre-workout live 7 years and not fall in standings. 2 years ago it was on our top 5s. It was the last time we did a top 5 on pre-workouts. Like 5 years after the inception of it, it was still in our top 5. Yeah. It stood for a very long time, and you guys are now improving it again. Is this going to be is this replacing the regular pre-cage, or are they both going to live together in your line?
So last year we launched also the pre-cage sport, right? So that's our entry-level pre-workout, and it's basically designed for people that are just getting started, maybe. And also, I think key is that it's got a little lower citrulline levels, right? So if you're doing, like I do triathlons, right? So I remember I couldn't run in a triathlon because I did a pre and an in, and I had too much citrulline, and my calves were exploding, right? So if you're looking to do sports and you don't want all of the pump, for example, for performance reasons, it's absolutely the perfect solution.
Yeah, gotcha.
Pre-caged is originally designed to kind of be taken as a system with pre-caged, in-caged, and re-caged. Right. And that's a fantastic system. It's also got a lot of BCA based, right? So it's got an endurance element to it that you don't, like this does not have the same profile on the BCAAs, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's actually a very different position for a product. So this is designed to be an all-in-one, right?
Cool. Okay.
Pre-workout, whereas pre-caged, if you want the BCA angle, that you're not going to get that here. So there are different consumer bases for each of those categories, right? Yeah,
I remember the PIP stack. I remember you guys had pamphlets in every single Vitamin Shop, and you guys have consumers that like your whole line. You know, a lot of consumers out there shop around, but as far as I can see with caged consumers, because of your different commitments, which I think we should definitely get into, they want to stick to that pre-inter post, but having something all in one makes a lot of sense for maybe your budget consumer, someone who doesn't want to be buying 3 different products. And on that note of all as much as you guys were talking about, the planned price point for it is actually really competitive for the size of the scoop too.
Yep.
You're talking about between $49.99 and $54.99 depending on where supply chain goes right now. But considering what size is the scoop? Can we release that?
Of course. So I think we're
36 grams.
Yeah, I don't.
It depends on the flavor, but
sure.
between
Yeah.
34
So like a
and
high
36.
30.
It's high 30s. Yeah.
Which, you know,
That
we've
label's
we've had some brands coming out with, you know, what's been coined the "fuck you" pre-workouts of that, you know, that high 30 gram.
Yeah.
And that's their special. This is, yes, it's your elite line, but this is going to be in Vitamin Shop. This isn't a one-off on your site. This isn't, you know, just for novelty. This is going to be a big part of your line. It's a big statement. It's awesome to see you guys really doing this stuff. You mentioned creatine nitrate alongside creatine. A lot of synergies.
Yep.
A lot of stuff coming together, which is really cool to see.
Yep.
So, this elite line, is this going to be moving on to other parts of the stack as well?
Let me clarify.
Sure.
It's just an elite SKU.
Elite SKU.
So
cool.
this is Pre-Kaged ELITE is the new elite. Everything that you see here is part of the rebrand of Caged.
So Pre-Kaged Elite, but everything else is going to this style,
Yeah.
but isn't necessarily elite.
Exactly. So
But
this
we,
go ahead.
over time, will we have an elite line of supplements? Very potentially.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
very
Cool.
potentially, yeah.
It's
And I'll just say, just for clarity for anyone that's curious about the rebrand too, is this is going to be the product that we're launching first.
Okay.
With the new skin, the new look and feel of Caged. And then as the year progresses and we move through inventory, it'll evolve, just like we are, to this new look and feel.
Cool.
But yeah.
it's an awesome change for you guys because not that your labels weren't engaging before, but now you have the soft touch, you have this tactile, you're moving into some very modern things. Which when we talked about this at the beginning of the conversation, you were talking about putting the money into the formulas and stuff and kind of getting away from the traditional like flashy things. Now you're doing all of it, which is really cool to see that Caged can do the flashy stuff
Well,
as well.
we started, we were exclusive on bodybuilding.com, right?
Okay.
So there was we were never going to veer from our beliefs and ethics relative to the ingredients and the
Sure.
profile and the
Yeah.
dosages, right? So that was crystal clear, but we were positioning the product to a consumer base that wanted a little bit more hardcore edge, right? Over time, as we've expanded beyond just bodybuilding.com and you were selling it Vitamin Shop, GNC, Amazon, of course, international, and where the market has moved, right? A lot of brands are going towards flashy labels and kind of artistic things that are, super interesting, right?
Sure.
But that's not who we are, right?
Yeah.
Who we are is clean, it's minimal,
Yes.
it's high quality, it's ultra premium, right? And we wanted a label and a packaging that reflected that set of ethics, right?
The label kind of does give you that minimalist, like the money's where it counts vibe.
Right. This is ultra premium.
Yeah.
Right. And we want you to be able to walk down the aisle or shop on the website and get that message, right, just from viewing it.
Yeah, and it's super true. Your consumers, I have noticed definitely in my talks with them, align with you guys extremely, extremely hard. Like when it comes to the natural sources, like we were talking about before, even if there isn't a huge difference between a synthetic ingredient and a natural ingredient, most of these consumers are choosing the natural ingredients just because it means something to them. Not to mention there are huge benefits to a lot of these decisions, No matter what, though, a lot of these consumers are leaning towards that natural side, towards that not muscle, like not that like that traditional, skin splitting pump bodybuilding vibe that we saw in print ads and muscle development.
It seemed pretty obvious, right? So for many years you can go in and if you buy a hardcore sports nutrition brand product, right, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Right, but the health benefits and the cleanliness is certainly questionable.
Sure.
Right, so you've got that concept. You can walk into a Whole Foods and you can buy a very clean, green-looking, healthy product, but it's probably not going to work. If it's a plant protein, right, you're getting 15 grams of protein, it's not being absorbed well, like all the other issues of performance, right? But there was a hole between the performance and the health, right? That's what we're trying to fit into. Right? We want to give you the performance, but also do it in a healthy way.
Darin and I we FaceTime every here. And we kind of just like muse about the community. It's really kind of interesting because in the past you always saw like the stores that you're talking about, the communities as well, were very spread apart. You know, the GNC, the hardcore, the Whole Foods, the weeds and seeds, and all that stuff. I see a big melding of all that together, where you see, you know, biohackers with the triathletes, with the people that are weight training. You didn't really see the triathletes weight training. You didn't see the biohackers working out, and you're starting to see a lot of that come together to these people that are weight training. They do want to pump, but they also can move, and they're thinking well, and they're eating for those goals as well. And there's no real brand for all of that.
Right.
It's a perfect spot for you guys, because that's what I think of you guys as. You know, I think of Chris doing his triathlons and being a natural bodybuilder.
Well, it's not just weight training nutrition, right?
Yeah.
It's sports nutrition.
Yeah.
And sports is a broad category, and it's about performance and exercise and health.
Yeah.
And if you should care about your health if you're caring about your body. And the cleaner it is, the more the properly dosed products are, right? You're gonna get the physiological benefits that you don't in a lot of products, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I was a college athlete.
I was literally going to bring this up. I think it's perfect. Yeah.
And you know, in college, you know, they always tell you, like, don't trust sports nutrition, don't trust the supplements. But, you know, if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, you know, Kaged would be a no-brainer, because I could go to my coach. I could say it's third-party tested. They use natural ingredients. You know, it's banned substance-free. Like, I'm going to be good. Where, I mean, 10, 11 years ago, there probably wasn't a product on the market. So by all means, no wonder he told me don't take supplements. So the times have changed. People are becoming more educated, and we're confident that as people have access to this information, it's going to allow Kaged to continue to be in the spotlight of the brand that's going to provide that solution for their health and their performance.
That's something I always go back to with Kaged, is whether it's natural bodybuilders, or it's college athletes, or it's athletes in a different sport. We talk about throwers or track and field because that's your background. So many of these people are swayed away from supplements constantly, but then they open up Instagram and they're hit with tons of these ads.
Right.
You know, and it's a really hard line to walk, because not that they aren't aware of Kaged, but the supplement industry is so huge. Yeah. You know, if you walk into a store and you throw a dart, there's a possibility you're going to land on something dirty. Yeah. You know, so that's why it's unfortunate, but it's true. Not at Vitamin Shop. And that's what's beautiful about the Kaged experience, is that you know that you're getting something clean. Yeah. You know, and at the very least, maybe you wanted something hardcore, but you're going to find something that's extremely efficacious. It's going to be safe. And most of the time we get people away from these hardcore brands and towards something that actually works. They realize you don't need half as much caffeine to feel it and to get that effect, right? Yep. A lot of your guys' products don't pump out huge doses of things like past where they really need to be. Yep. And it works.
Right.
Yeah, I would say, Michael, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but this is probably the highest we'll go from a stim perspective as a
That is the highest we're going.
So and what's the specific actual
it's
milligram?
388 milligrams altogether. It's 368 of pure calf and 20 grams from Amity.
Yep.
Cool.
Well done.
Test check. Yeah.
You're doing your elevator pitch upstairs. Yeah, I think in 388 is still, some people will consider that to be high. Mm-hmm. I think it really depends on your body weight, but it's a fun spot.
Yeah.
It's a fun spot. Yeah.
It's a great spot.
But it actually, I mean, you've tried it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the performance of the caffeine, and just because of the way the combination works, it doesn't overstim you. And I don't know if it's the organic caffeine or all the different elements that come together, but it's a very clean experience.
Yeah, the organic caffeine's definitely been in this discussion. The other thing that I would note is the nitrates, because they're lowering your blood pressure. Sometimes they can buffer stimulants. Yeah, and so it's funny when I took it, I mentioned that the stim and the energy was fine. It didn't feel increased. I always loved Pre-Kaged.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt good. And it was funny because Darin was like, how'd you feel the stim? How was the stim? How was the stim? And I forgot that the caffeine was increased. I was like, it's good, dude. It felt good. I had good focus. It wasn't like, I wasn't raving about the energy, because
You're
it was a
not
good
going to
spot.
take a cage product and feel cracked out.
Yep.
Right. That's not our goal.
Yeah, I mean that's
Right.
not.
But you're going to have the best workout you've ever had, right? And you're going to recover from it better, and you're going to perform better. Like that's our goal.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to be clean when you do it.
Yeah,
I want you to hit more 700-pound squats.
I mean, and the cage is the kind of product that I would take for that. You know what I mean? Because you're not. I mean, the pump is good. Because on the other end here, we were talking about getting too much of a pump before this video.
Right.
That's the other end as an athlete. You know, you mentioned with the triathlon, obviously 10 grams of citrulline is way too much for that.
Yeah, don't do it.
But
Don't do it.
even just like a normal weight training session, there are some pump ingredients and products that put too much together. Second arm set, my triceps are so
Forget
full
it.
of blood, you can't
Cash.
contract anymore.
Right.
You're wasting time.
Right.
Right? Even with 10 grams of citrulline and nitrates and some other stuff, it still was like a sweet spot for me.
It was a sweet spot, yeah.
You know?
Everything we do is designed to be the sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
That's what our goal is. We're not going to go over. We want most people to be able to enjoy it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that are just not going to want to take a product that's close to 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Sure.
This is not the product for them. We offer, pre-cage. We offer pre-cage sport,
Yeah.
or they can take it
in-cage.
or stim free.
Or in cage.
Or in cage. You
Right,
got a
go to
great point of
in-cage,
that, yeah.
right? Or you can even use, amino synergy, believe it or not.
Yeah.
With caffeine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you guys have a lot of different opportunities for different levels of caffeine and for all different kinds of athletes.
Yep.
It totally makes sense because if you're talking about like a thrower, that's probably more of a pre-caged. But if you're looking at like a triathlete, that amino synergy probably is actually a really great spot if you don't want any of those extra pump ingredients and just caffeine. But
and you want the benefits of all the EAAs and the,
Exactly.
and the blend, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to be had there. I didn't even consider that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
I'll cut this.
Okay.
Cool. So is there anything else with the evolution of cage that you guys want to hit on? Are there any teases or like what are you guys most excited for with this coming about?
I'll give my 2 cents first, if you don't mind.
I'd love to hear it.
All right. Well, I think with the rebrand of becoming caged, our new tagline of never stop evolving, it actually allows us to open the doors of the company a little bit. It allows us to go back to some of our products and look at flavoring profiles. What's changed in the science to address it, because as a company we don't want to stand still, right?
Sure.
Science changes, and as a company that's science forward, we also have to evolve with that science. So that excites me because I think it's a lot of companies don't necessarily look back and reflect on what they've done and do that, and this is a company with the leadership that's actually capable of doing that, which is great. And then secondly, I'm excited for our community, and not just the ones that have been with us from the start. I think that they're going to be over the moon for this new look and feel, and to continue to be part of the Caged family. But I'm excited for all the new folks that we could potentially bring into the brand, because we are, being Caged, we're automatically, a little bit more inclusive to, all forms of health and performance. And if we're really good at our jobs, it's being able to market and be able to reach out to people within those sects that really we focused on kind of the performance, the hardcore for the last 7 years. And so I think there's a really great opportunity for people to engage with the brand in a bigger way and understand, what we're bringing to the table from a value perspective. So
I think it's a great point. I think especially with the conversation that we had about the different opportunities, this gives you an opportunity to really open up to softer individuals, maybe more of like a yoga side of things that where, they still care about natural and all that.
yeah, but what are you excited about for the rebrand, Michael?
So the same concept, which is the new tagline, never stop evolving, right? And we were going through not just about physical, not just about putting on muscle, right? It's all of the downstream benefits that come from that activity, and focusing on the discipline, focusing on the mindset, focusing on the emotional health, right? And all of those things are coming together. We want to help people achieve that, right? Having a strong digestive tract, so probiotic is important.
Yeah.
Sleeping well. Sleep is incredibly important, right? And so offering, sleep support where needed, right? And all of the, pieces that come together, and you may hear us talking about meditation and some other things that can help you be a stronger version of yourself on a new path. So our goal is to really partner with our customers and try and help them walk that path, right? And we want to provide the information, to help them do that. And when we were previously perceived as kind of a hardcore brand, right, you really just can't tap into that angle with consumer base, right? And so all of that's going to come together, but as Darin mentioned, we want to do it through community, right? And so if we can create a community of people that are like-minded, that can help each other and get to a better place, we think that's, of course we'll sell more in that process, but honestly we will be happier people, and that's the goal on it, long term.
And like what Michael says, like we have a road to build right from, like a lot of what he's talking about, the meditation, discipline, the emotional piece of what we want to be is stuff that you practice. It's what people within Caged practice. It's what I practice at home. And so, we try and live, what the brand stands for too internally at HQ. And from the community standpoint, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, we have our Facebook group, which is pretty engaged. We have the best ambassadors in the world within our Caged team that are gung-ho about the brand, believe in our story, love this evolution that's coming, and we're hoping to grow that piece as well to help share the message of Caged globally. And then, lastly, I think what's probably something we never talk about, but probably should, is like, we give training away for free, and we don't do a good job letting people know, like, there's a free app that Caged allows you to be able to track, follow, and you can use our products along with that, and there's nutrition guidelines and everything that Chris and other athletes that we've worked with in the past we're just giving to you, because it's about you. It's about your health. Like, you can utilize those all you want, and never buy a supplement. We encourage you to, but that's just part of, like, kind of why I fell in love with Caged too. So.
I was going to say specifically, you were talking about offering that, the meditation or the different types of information for the rest of your life. You have a platform to do that. The same content that you guys were using to look hardcore through training content can also be other kinds of content. We've seen you make awesome videos and trainers and planners and stuff like that. You already have an engaged community that would soak that stuff up. It's really cool to see.
We have some pretty interesting concepts that we're working on relative to new types of training programs that have a much more holistic approach to the integration. So different types of practices you could integrate into a transformation, right?
Nice.
With not just physical, but we'll be a lot heavier. Like this year, it's like, I guess we'll do shots, but it's like the supply chain issues and getting products to market. And we spent most of our time, up to now, just developing what we think are the world's best products, right? And we're in the process, the last year and a half, of switching into being a marketing and information company, right? And content is a big piece of where we want to go. We started that way, but it wasn't. We didn't have the scale at that point to be able to do it the way we wanted to, with the proper apps, the proper quantity of content. But that's all coming down the roadmap for us.
You definitely have the talent for it, right?
You definitely have the talent.
Yeah, the
We have Chris Geffen, right?
Yeah.
Like, what else do you want?
Well, I was going to say, because in terms of evolution, like, I don't know many other influencers, I'm sure Chris hates that word as much as I do, but that have transitioned and evolved themselves like Chris has. So to have that kind of spokesperson is really helpful for this. I mean, seeing him go from, again, being a bodybuilder to being a triathlete and showing so much of his spiritual growth is great.
Chris, it's December 7th today.
Okay.
He's been silent for the last 7 days because he's at a silent retreat.
Is he?
A 10-day silent retreat.
Wait, like, he's not speaking at all during the silent retreat?
10 days, yeah.
There's no speaking, there's no sound, there's no phone, there's no computer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Silent.
Talk about like a mental workout. Like,
I have anxiety thinking about that. Like, I need your meditation content just thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm like, I asked him, like, is there like a 3-day where I could like try it out? He goes, you have to do the 10 before you can get to the 3. I was like, what? So you have to do the 10 first. That's like that's the velvet rope.
Cool. So it's been an awesome, I think this has been about a 20-minute video after cutting everything. after cutting out the vacuums and the sweeping.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool to see the new Cage. I'm really excited for these, not just the new labels, the new branding, and a whole bunch of new community, but also evolving the formula. And I'm excited for what's about to come. So tell us what we can expect the month of December, because I understand there's going to be a lot of content about the past, and then I guess we'll talk about the launch in a second.
Sure. So
No, you got it. You got it.
So the month of December will be the Evolution campaign, right?
Okay.
It's us going through our history and kind of revisiting our roots and where we came from, and connecting that to where we're going, right? So we'll go through the month of December, a little trip down memory lane, and we'll showcase that off with a video that's going to be released on January 3rd, announcing the rebrand publicly, showing the rebrand, right? It comes with obviously a pre-elite product, which is fantastic. We're also going to be dropping a lot of apparel, super high quality, ultra premium, consistent with the new brand. At the same time, and we will be switching over the website, all the social handles.
Cool.
The website's actually going to be switching to caged.com.
Cool. Okay.
All of it happening at the same time, January 3rd. So super exciting.
So for anyone who's new to the brand, this whole month you'll get to see a little bit of the past.
Yep.
So if you weren't here for the origins, it's kind of a cool opportunity to see what you have bought into. But January 3rd we'll have this big video launching, which I'm really excited to see. But also that's gonna be the day that this is available, so you can purchase it that day.
That's the goal. Yep.
In terms of in-store, I don't know if that's what you're talking about right now, but do you know when people will be able to find this in-store as well?
It'll be the end of January in store.
Okay.
The month of January will be caged.com only.
Cool. So about time to go through one whole bottle before you go to your vitamin shop.
One bottle, yeah.
So you get your first one online, then you're going to be in store there. I do have to say, I got in the new shirts yesterday. I shared the back of them to my story because no one knows about this yet. But
in the back of the bottle.
The ice shaker, that's my favorite ice shaker so far. The caged, the simple logo is just so cool. I'm a huge fan of it. So across the board, you guys have had some great apparel for the last couple of years. I feel like most of my lifting videos have been in caged apparel because it's both well fitting, but it also is it's good
quality.
Yeah, but it's either one or the other. Kind of like we were talking about before, how it's like marketing or formulas. It's either good fitting or like good quality. So
we're keeping the shirts that you're accustomed to.
Okay.
For sure. But like Michael said, there's going to be some performance stuff in there too. So
awesome.
Which means maybe you'll have a performance shirt that you can sweat a little bit more in. Maybe you'll have nice joggers that hug the hammies a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Great.
It's been cool to see you guys again. You guys aren't on the East Coast very often.
Thank you, PricePlow Nation, for hosting us and watching this video. And come check out Caged, the new Caged.
Awesome. Thanks.